everyone. I chose to focus on the global impact of technology on literacy. I really wanted to look in depth at how the different levels of access to technology affect students across the world. The first essay I read was Web Literacies of the Already Accessed and Technically Inclined Schooling in Monterrey, Mexico. It was published in 2000 in Global Literacies and the World Wide Web. The essay had three authors. The first, Susan Romano, who was the Associate Professor of English at the University of New Mexico. There was also Elizabeth W. de Juergo, who is the Director of the American Institute of Monterey. And lastly, Barbara Field, who was the Latin American liaison for Simon & Schuster. The study of AIM is interesting because the students there belong to a highly successful economic group, which is not the norm for a study of this manner. However, the authors felt that the school was causing and undergoing significant change as far as literacy education. One of the collective questions that the researchers posed that I found really intriguing was, do Monterey school children act upon and adapt the new literacies to their own purposes as social theorist Brian Street and others believe people do? The authors refer to Street because of his social view of literacy. Instead of it being a technical affair, he views literacy as being shaped by people. By viewing the data through the eyes of theorists like Street, the authors were able to view the chat sessions that the students were reporting to participate in as literacy events. The students were having high-intensity episodes of reading and writing in which they were oftentimes practicing their English. While students acknowledged the need to use English in their web searching as imposed by their teachers and parents, they were also finding a way to utilize English in their own ways. They were using English to communicate with people from all over the world using these chat sessions. Lastly, one of the most poignant questions that the authors asked students in their survey is, will the internet narrow the gap between social classes? One of the response was, I think so, because people can have more information. I think that answer right there sums up exactly the impact that technology can have on literacy. The essay that I read was Literacies and the Complexities of the Global Digital Divide. It was published in 2006 in Writing and Digital Media. This essay had two authors, Cynthia Self, who is a professor of English at The Ohio State University, and also Gail Hoescher, who was a professor at the University of Illinois. One of the reasons the authors did this study was because of the attention that the global digital divide was garnering at the time. As you can see, the differences in the cost of telecommunication and internet access in 2006 was huge between countries like the United States, Madagascar, Nepal, and Bangladesh. Their research focused on two students from Michigan Technical University, one from Nigeria and one from China. Both of these students had very different experiences growing up with computers. Deepo grew up in a comfortable economic situation. His father was a computer marketing manager and his mother was a chartered accountant. He began to learn English as soon as he entered into nursery school, and that education continued as he grew up. Additionally, when he was 14, his father was able to buy a personal computer for the home. Peng Fei, on the other hand, had a different experience than Deepo. He was born in a rural area of China and had very little money. His parents moved when he was 7 to a larger area, and there he started learning English at the age of 12. However, he did not have experience with computers until he entered college. Another interesting difference is how they develop their digital literacies. Deepo had his own personal computer that he used for entertainment as well as schoolwork and was well versed by the time he graduated high school, whereas Peng Fei developed his through visiting internet cafes and applying to US colleges. Despite these differences, these two students had something in common, and that was that drive for literacy, period. Deepo had support of his parents and English education from an early age, and Peng Fei had support at home through his mother, who really pushed education. One of the questions that the authors pose at the end of their essay is, how can countries, individuals, groups address the global digital divide? And I find this to be a very important question, especially since we see the success that both Deepo and Peng Fei have had. Both of these students should be considered a success story for what they've accomplished given where they've come from. However, I don't believe that we can apply their situations to the general population of the countries that they originated. The authors do a great job of addressing this when they say it depends on a range of factors, including people's innate or learned abilities to pursue both unexpected and predictable goals, family values and literacy histories, social, economic, and personal circumstances, commitment, confidence, and faith, and whatever factors enable humans to pursue both unexpected and unpredictable goals. Therefore, I think the answer to how can countries, individuals, groups address the global digital divide lies in the emphasis that we're placing upon digital literacy. Are we promoting the use of computer technology? Are we putting money towards computer infrastructure? Are we putting money towards public education? The third and final essay that I read was The Negotiation of Identity and Power in a Japanese Online Discourse Community. It was published in 2002 in Computers in Composition. The author, Paul K. Matsuda, is a professor of English at Arizona State University. The saying, one of these things is not like the other, comes to mind when reading this essay. Instead of looking at digital literacies, this essay kind of looked at how online discourse can conceal social markers that are present in offline conversations. In his essay, Matsuda focused on the formation of power relationships through the negotiation of identity and social relations in a discussion list called Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, LINK. Matsuda also explained that the individuals that were on the TESOL link were younger members of the profession who had similar interests. Additionally, they were all native speakers of Japanese, and almost all the interactions took place in Japanese. It is important to note that social markers are embedded within the Japanese language. So the way you address somebody of a different social class or seniority or professional rank is different. Since many of the members of the TESOL link did not have any in-person interaction prior to engaging in these conversations online, there was no set identity for them. Therefore, what Matsuda found, instead of using social markers that indicated a difference in social class, seniority, or professional rank, everybody was using honorific terminology, meaning they were being respectful without showing a difference in class. However, what Matsuda did end up finding was that individuals within this email list kind of formed a teacher-learner relationship where those who had more knowledge and were quote-unquote teachers became more powerful within this group, whereas the learners were seen as less powerful. While the findings of his study show that the vertical social relations are de-emphasized in the TESOL link via online discourse, it is apparent that a different type of hierarchy was formed. A few final thoughts I have after reading these three essays are the differences in use of technology globally, also the importance of understanding the use of technology to promote literacy, and how we can use technology to bridge the global divide. It is apparent after reading these three essays that technology is being used in different ways in different parts of the world. At AIM, they're using it to chat. In Peng Fei's case, he was using it to apply for college. Depot was playing video games, and the Japanese instructors were using it for email. Yet, one of the most important things we can gather from these three essays is the importance of understanding the use of technology to promote literacy and how we can support digital literacy in countries that are underdeveloped or less technologically advanced than, say, the United States. By understanding how we can promote digital literacies in various countries, I think we can begin to figure out how technology can bridge the global divide. As one student stated in the AIM essay, when asked if the internet could narrow the gap between social classes, they stated, "I think so, because people can have more information."